Okay, we're going to look at a homework problem, question 1 on 6.4. So I'm going to show you how to do probability when you have a continuous uniform distribution between 20 and 40, and then how to find the probability that x is less than or equal to 35. So let's look at our information. We are looking for the probability first that x is less than or equal to 35. And then we're also, we know that the continuous distribution is between 20 and 40. So 20 and 40 is your continuous distribution, and that is going to always be your A and your B for the formula we're going to use. And your formula is x2 minus x1 over B minus A. So for your x2 and your x1, it is your x1 is your smallest value and x2 is your largest value. So we know 35 is going to be the highest because it says x can be less than or equal to 35. So the highest is going to be 35. So that's going to be your x2, and then your lowest point would be the 20, because we want to know the probability of it being less than or equal to 35. So now we can plug those in the formula. x2 we said is 35, and x1 is 20. Now if your probability would have asked x is greater than or equal to 35, then your smallest value would actually be 35 and your largest value would be 40. So this is going to determine what's going to happen with x2 and x1. So B we know is 40 and minus A is 20. Now A and B is going to be, are these no matter what, if this is your range that you're given 20 to 40, but x1 and x2 could change based on what probability you're trying to find here. So that would be 15 over 20, and if you divide that in your calculator you would get 0.75. Now for the second question, it asks the probability that x is equal to 28. So when we do this one, A and B will be the same thing, but your highest value and your lowest value are going to be the same because x can only equal one value. We want to know the probability that x would equal 28. So your highest value and your lowest value is actually going to be 28 because x, we are only looking at the number 28. So the bottom part is going to stay the same, but the top part here, x2 and x1 have changed. So now we're going to have 28 minus 28. So on top, we're going to get 0. And if you divide, if 0 is divided by any number, you're going to get 0. So the probability that x is going to equal 28 is 0. Then the next part, it wants you to find the mean and then the standard deviation. And this is actually easier than the probability. So to find the mean, you don't need to worry about x's. All you need to use is A and B. So we can technically just erase the probability because we're just looking at the mean. So the mean here would be A plus B divided by 2. That is how you find the mean. So we're taking the highest and the lowest in the values here. And so that would be 20 plus 40 divided by 2. And 20 plus 40 is 60. And 60 divided by 2 is 30. Now for the standard deviation, the formula you're going to use is B minus A divided by the square root of 12. So B is 40, A is 20, and then we're going to divide that by the square root of 12. So if you put this in your calculator, 40 minus 20, you want to divide that by 12. So it's 20 divided by, the square root of 12. And if you put that in the calculator, you will get, I believe it was 5. We'll round to the second decimal place, so 5.77. And that is what you get on for the standard deviation. Now, this is basically you plugging in the formula. Remember the numbers 20 and 40, that's the distribution. Those are always going to be your A and B, whatever number they give you for the distribution. Your highest and lowest point, x1 and x2, is going to depend on what the probability you're trying to find, the probability that x is a certain number. So make sure you follow the video and use the question help to look at the example.